Yeah, another rainy day. We've had more rain in the last few weeks than I ever remember in this amount of time at this part of the year. You know, when it gets hotter out, we'll get a rain shower. The next day, the heat will evaporate. It'll be another rain shower, and it'll go on for weeks. But this time of the year, we've never had this much rain that I remember. I could be wrong, but I don't remember it. Anyhow, we're going to take all these pieces of pipe we got today, and we're going to cut them down because it's time to get these blackberries that are putting out these corrupt blackberries on the plant because they're stifled. We have them in buckets and containers everywhere. It's time to get them in the ground so that next year we have a true blackberry harvest. So we're going to cut these pipes down right now. We're trying to figure out, we want to keep them about the same size. So, you know, you count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, cut. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, cut. We're trying to make sure we don't waste any, end up with like 2 rings. You'll see. Let me show you right now. So if we go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, we end up with a small piece. So that's what we're looking for. That's the first 2 we cut. That's what we're looking for over there. But we still have 1, 2, 3, 4 pipes to cut. And we're going to cut these, and then we're going to go place them where we want them because we still have that big pile of dirt we need to move. We're going to fill them all up. We've already weeded the bean tunnel. I started, Anthony finished. The bean tunnel it's starting to grow, but we had a few that didn't make it. I got those in the back growing, so we're going to fill them with dirt and finish. This bean tunnel is going to go all summer. When I start to see these beans petering out, we'll have fresh ones ready to go right in the ground, and we'll cut the old ones and let the new ones grow right up. In the meanwhile, let's get these pipes going. Corporate decision. I left 3 of them tall because I know if I cut it all down to small ones for the blackberry bushes and for the watermelons and cantaloupes, somewhere along the line, I'm going to wish I had a couple more raised beds. So there we go. We got 3 of them that are a decent height. And then we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 ready for blackberry bushes. That's a little piece on top there, but these 10 are all the same. Then I have a couple over there. So we're going to bring a bunch of them next door for the watermelons and cantaloupes, but these are going to go along the back fence. We're going to fill them up because I got blackberry bushes growing out of 5-gallon buckets that got about 1 gallon of dirt in the bottom. It's got some stunted blackberries, so that didn't work out too good. I couldn't keep them in the ground. They just did whatever they wanted. We're going to bring them to a place where they could do what they want. Next year, we should have a lot more blackberries. There's a couple throughout the yard that have nice blackberries on them, but they're getting dug up too. They got to go. Can't have them just popping up wherever they want. They legitimately do whatever they want to do. Can't stop them. Where's yours, Caitlin? Where's yours?
I think its neck is broken. Oh! It likes you, Aunt. It likes you.
Yeah. Oh, boy. And there's another one, he said. Can you come closer? You ready to smile? Yeah. Smile, Aunt. Today, Anthony is the frog whisperer. He's finding all the tree frogs. We moved a couple of blueberry bushes and some bamboo sticks, and he found 3, and now he just found one in the other part of the yard. Yeah, the frog whisperer. It never fails, it never fails. Every single time you go to do something in the garden, until you get everything set up, until your whole infrastructure is there, until everything is ready for you to just plant and amend your soil and harvest, until you're at that place, there's always something else. So we wanted to plant the blackberries. In order to plant the blackberries, we had to cut the pipes. We cut the pipes. We were done with that by 2 o'clock. All right, we're looking at 6 feet wide, 7 feet long, and almost as high as this 55-gallon drum. It's a lot of coffee grounds. Now we have 2 recycling beds where we put all of the leaves and everything so the worms could compost it down. If I dump all of these coffee grounds in there, the worms will be dead. It's gonna be straight acid water, so that's not my desire. So we're gonna go ahead and layer a bunch of the coffee grounds in there. Then we got piles of leaves we saved from last fall. We didn't want to mix them in with the old ones. So we're gonna layer leaves, coffee grounds, leaves, coffee grounds. But I'll tell you what, this is gonna be some crazy compost in a few years. It's gonna be marvelous. Yeah, we got a lot of buckets in various places in the yard, and I just made an executive decision. I liked leaving the buckets around because they would fill up with rainwater, and as I would walk through the yard, I didn't have to drag a hose. I could just randomly pick up a bucket and water whatever needed water. Problem, there's some buckets have been sitting around for a while. Now what I just showed you is called bio balls. It's a net filled with little plastic balls, and you put them in the filter of your pond and waterfall, and as the water passes through, anaerobic bacteria, all kinds of enzymes, everything grows in that bag. As the water passes through it, it eats the urine, it eats the ammonia, it's just a whole biological filtration. I don't really have time to get into it, but I've been doing ponds and waterfalls for the past 40 years. So basically, I have something I've never seen before. We just dumped the water out of this bucket, picked up a net, and I saw those white things with a long, slimy tail. I'm gonna have to look it up online. I don't know if that was dragonfly larvae. I don't know what it is. But that bucket was filled with it. Another bucket was filled with millions of mosquito larvae. Here comes the wind again. So anyway, the mosquito, they lay their eggs in, and the larvae, they'll go around the stagnant water until they're ready to fly out and bite you. So if you don't want a million mosquitoes on your property, don't leave stagnant water laying around. I'm okay with having some buckets, but now I think we're gonna pick one spot, we're gonna collect them all, and we're gonna keep them upside down. Because what I just saw in that bucket freaks me out a little bit. I don't know what it is. If it's not dragonflies, whatever it is, I probably don't want them hatching in my yard. Buckets of standing water could be a problem. We're gonna have to find out what those were. That's our baby onions. Red, yellow, and white. Know what's funny? We planted them in the beds that last year we had planted our Everglades tomatoes. Plenty of those little tiny Everglades tomatoes fell. So I'm almost positive that's what's growing in the middle of all of our onions. So I got to pull them out because they will tower and they'll block the sun and take all the nutrients. But I do have a couple of extra beds on the other side over here by the recycle bin we're working on. So check these little tomatoes out. They volunteered. we got volunteer Everglade tomatoes. So I'm pulling a bunch out. I'm gonna go transplant them. And I'm gonna plant them down to the tippy top so they get a good root system. I don't know, stuff like this doesn't just happen every day. Most of the time something grows and you have no idea what it is. But I didn't take any dirt from anywhere else in the yard for these beds. And this is where we had the Everglades tomatoes. And where we had our lilac peppers, but none of those are popping up. I picked them all. Those are our volunteer Everglades. I don't think I'm wrong. I think it's Everglades. So they're about to go right in this bed. I just pulled the weeds out and it's ready to go. There was only a couple of weed seeds don't usually fly 4 feet up in the air, 3 feet up in the air. So I don't have a lot of weeding to do in this yard. But when you pull a pile of leaves from the side of the road or you pull a pile of leaves from your yard, and as that rots away, you put that in your flower bed, guess what? Weed seeds are gonna grow. Okay, so we're gonna take all these little branches off the main stem. And it doesn't have a big root ball yet, but this is where it was planted. Now we're gonna plant it up here. And all along this stem, all these little hairs, all these little bumps, these are about to become a new root. So this plant is about to have so much more nutrition to put into the tomatoes. Basically, I'm digging a nice hole. Now can you see, can you zoom in here, Aunt? Take this root, put it down there. Oh, a little bit more. Put this root down there and then put the plant like this. Now look in that hole. Can you see inside that hole? That whole plant is gonna get roots now. That's it. Plant looks like it just grew out of the ground, but basically, here's another one. I got plenty of them. They were volunteering all over the place. So we take this, we take off all these bottom branches. They're not gonna do anything anyway. If I let this thing grow in our onion beds, these little branches weren't gonna make tomatoes, but now, look at this. All of this can put out roots. I tried. I can't use gloves. You can't feel what you're doing. It just is like not natural. I tried. I'm gonna have to roll with the dirty fingernails and get a fingernail brush on them later. But I planted this full bed of volunteer Everglade tomatoes. I think I got 5 in here. It's gonna fill it up. It's gonna be abundant. The bed next to it, I wanna put peppers because I have to spread my peppers around the yard so we don't get any cross-pollination. So for now, I put some more in some pots and I stuck a couple of little ones in the dirt, but they're gonna get transplanted. I don't know what it is. When I pull a plant, I can't kill it. It is like, goes against, you do everything you can to make your plants grow and be healthy and delicious and thrive and be abundant. So killing them, it's part of it, but just feels wrong. So I'm keeping every one of these little baby tomato plants. I'm gonna give them to somebody to grow. So. All right, that's the first compost bin. We used this one up. We used all our compost in this, so we went ahead and we added the coffee grounds to this one that we used up, but we can't put too many. This one was still halfway full with leaves that were almost all the way there. So we're gonna put coffee grounds on top. I got a bag of lime. We're gonna throw a whole bunch of lime on there because I'm not trying to make acid dirt. I just want all of the nitrogen I can get my hands on. So I got a bag of limestone. It's pelletized. We're gonna go ahead and start layering some lime in there. The bags, we're not gonna use them all here. I'm gonna have to start spreading them around all the fruit trees, all the vines, because I don't wanna make it too powerful to where it kills anything when I go to planting it. But as of right now, we're well on our way to next season having some good compost in this bin. This bin, we'll go ahead and put the pallet back in front of it and fill it up, and it'll just sit there for 3 years. 3 years it'll be ready to go. You know, you got to kind of alternate it, offset it. Another tip from your Uncle Rudy. Okay. There we go. So the first thing going in the bottom of this pipe is 2 bags of coffee grounds. Then we're going to put in 3 or 4 buckets of really good black dirt. Then we're going to pop in one of our blackberry bushes. Then more dirt. And guess what? It's got plenty of room. Plenty of room to grow. That's why it's not doing good. You could pull that one right out. There you go. Pop it right in. Just leave it in. Just put it in there. Let me see what it looks like. All right, you know what we're going to do? We're not going to videotape because I don't want him doing it by himself. One of us has to hold it at an angle. The other one packs the dirt. But we'll be back. Even though the plant was growing at an angle, if you can tilt the root ball a little, one person holds it at the right angle and get the dirt under it, then it'll become a little bit more straight up and down, and then I could start pruning it and I could turn it into the blackberry bush we want, because all the berries will come out of all the new growth every year. So I need a main stem so I could start truly training some branches, and then the new growth will bring me new blackberries. I'm watching all kinds of stuff on the internet about blackberries. Ours have been failing. It's time they got their right place in our yard. It looks marvelous.
That one, huh? Hi, baby. Hi, baby.